Welcome to No Outside Food Allowed, the podcast all about nerdy news and movie magic. Today we're giving you our review on Venom, plus we'll talk about our classic movie, The Shining, and also the biggest flops in cinema history. I'm Adam. Today I'll be the Dr. Octopus of this group of Sinister Six, or four today, anyway. With me, Sam Lim Jr.
Craven.
The
Hunter.
Chris Felix.
It's a Mysterio.
Fishbowl
Mysterious.
Head.
Yes.
And Christopher Gagne.
The Michael Keaton Vulture.
Oh,
I did not like that character until he made it a really good character.
He was actually a really good Vulture.
Yeah,
I
really
liked him a
good.
lot. He saved that. We won't.
It
was
good.
good.
All right.
It was fine.
I loved it.
Also want to give a little special happy birthday to Jose Loyola today.
Hell yeah.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy
man.
birthday, Mr. Officer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, change that up there.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I see what you did there.
Did you say bacon?
Oh. What?
Whoa.
What do you smell?
Huh?
Bacon.
Big? What? We still love you.
So we had New York Comic Con this week.
Hell yeah.
A lot of stuff
All the
coming out of
fun
there.
shit.
They're like the second biggest one besides San Diego, right?
Bro, the cosplay is so amazing.
Yeah.
I sent you guys the pictures of there was this guy that dressed up the full Batman suit, no headgear, but painted it Joker style, and his face and hair he had down to Heath Ledger's Joker. So it's so weird to see Heath Ledger's Joker wearing the Batman
Wearing the bat
uniform,
suit.
yeah.
That's cool.
but with
I didn't see that one.
with the Joker colors.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so amazed by that. Like the cosplay itself this year, they just keep one-upping from last year all the time.
Yeah.
I really like it.
And there are a ton of news coming out.
Oh,
We had Aquaman trailer. We had
the extended trailer.
the Bullseye reveal for Daredevil season 3.
Yes.
We had Lobo for Krypton. What'd you guys like? What was the coolest thing?
Can we talk about that? Since you're talking about good cosplay, can we talk about bad cosplay with Lobo real quick?
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth.
That's what Kanye said. I love that.
Yeah, dude, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, like, something that, like, it's sort of good in the face, but then I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's just not working for some reason. This guy just looks too small. He looks like Rob Zombie. Like, he just looks like a washed up
Looks a
rock.
little Men in
I saw
Black.
that too.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
It's,
like,
it's a little scrawny. It's not like bit bigger.
it makes me kind of wish that Momoa was Lobo because he's like perfect for it. He's got the perfect voice for it. Like he's got the stature for it. I mean,
Well, he has a proper attitude too. The drinking,
yeah, exactly.
like
Yeah.
it'd be perfect.
I thought the wig was pretty bad too.
Yeah, it just looks like a mix of. It just looks like Rob Zombie. That's like nail on the head right there, Adam. Like it just not excited.
Not feeling that one.
No.
He's got shades of John Travolta in Battlefield
A little
Earth
bit.
too, or whatever that movie was.
Yeah, Battlefield
totally.
Earth, bro,
Yeah.
big time.
As we get to
big
our
time.
flops list, that's worth a mention.
Yeah, who do you pay to keep that off the list?
Right.
Yeah,
But-
Lobo was so he's coming to Krypton for season 2, which I think is cool. They're bringing in some of those kind of lesser known
Characters.
villains from the comic
Yeah,
books.
to
They
bring
had,
them out.
Brainiac in the first season, even though we didn't watch. Did
It's actually
Did you guys
Brainiac
watch it?
and Doomsday in the first
right.
season.
They had a little
Really?
Doomsday.
Yeah, and then I might actually go back and watch the show now because I watched the highlight of season 1, and it actually looked decent. The reason for me I skipped the show was because I felt that it was saturated, and sometime with David S. Goyer, it's a hit or miss situation with him. You know what I mean? And to see how it was written, and then to see the cast and how it was played out between the House of L, the House of Jor-El, and then the House of
Zod, right?
Zod. Yeah.
It's all about the grandfathers of.
The
Jor-El and
grandfathers.
Zod, so,
Yeah. So to see how it play out, I might go back now to Sci-Fi and
Right.
go check out the first season.
Right? Check it
You
out.
know, check it out.
Yeah.
Can't be worse than Supergirl constantly changing the mother every season or changing the storyline. I'm like, man, can't do it.
Well, once we get to their crossovers, that's all we care about. So let's talk about Daredevil season.
Dude,
2.
it was really smart this year how they kept pushing little trailers here, little trailers there, and just the path they're taking to the storyline itself. Like we were discussing last week, I'm very excited to see Kingpin turn around on Matt Murdock.
finally take like the name, right, and run with
Yes.
it, put the white suit on, and then it looked like to me they put out that Bullseye was going to be kind of the villain, right, and they just did a quick flash of the symbol while they were kind of doing this montage, and it shows a guy
He's an
that
FBI
finds-
agent.
Yeah, he finds Daredevil's costume, and impersonates him. You know, starts shooting people.
I think he was hired by Kingpin to
yeah.
be
Oh, it has to be.
Oh, for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
You know, spread the
But
I
the
guess
chaos and madness.
Yeah, the chaos. Smudge, Daredevil's name a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It looks great. I'm looking forward to that one. I think Daredevil's like the best of the Netflix shows.
Yeah, doesn't that come out like
Yeah,
this week too?
Comes out the 19th.
19th,
pretty
yeah.
soon. Very
That's
cool.
what got me about this. Like watching all the footage just got me so pumped again. And I'm missing like, what is it? Jeff Loeb? Like, does he only work on this
One
series?
show, right?
And like, can they not get him to consult on the other ones to make them at least half as good as Daredevil?
Right.
Like, I mean, granted, like, okay, we had Punisher, and that was a pretty good season. And we had the first season of Jessica Jones, but since then, like the rest of the stuff, even Defenders wasn't great. Like, what are we missing? Like, to get that gritty feel that Daredevil has, they just get it so right. And maybe it's just that he's the most interesting character. I don't know, but
That's probably true. That can be argued. I guess
I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, Iron Fist season 2 you said was a little bit better, so
It was very surprising.
Hopefully.
Like the last few episodes will catch you off guard.
Yeah.
You didn't see it coming.
okay.
So
Yeah, I
you
still haven't
definitely-
finished it, but it's been better. It's kind of a slow burn, but it's a much more interesting story than the first
Yeah.
season. The first season was just garbage.
Yeah, I
it's
still
all
haven't
like
watched
board
that one.
meetings and
I'll just
just
pass up
whining
and watch the
shit.
second season, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm Danny Rand. I'm gonna buy
Yeah,
this
and-
building.
Yeah, and this is only 10 episodes too, so you can burn through it pretty quick. Yeah, but even though I'm not done with it.
Right. Well, all right, so let's talk about this extended trailer for Aquaman. It was like 5 minutes of basically some running on rooftops, some explosions, a little bit more of
I gotta point out the
Black
fact
Manta.
that the one thing that really like stuck out was the fact the running on the rooftop
Yeah.
looks exactly like the one of Fast and the Furious when they introduced The Rock for the first time,
Okay.
and he runs through the wall as he's chasing Vin Diesel down. But like everything is shot per shot between that rooftop chase and Fast and Furious 1. I'm like, guys, did you know this has been done before?
Yeah, but at
Already?
least these people
That-
have superpowers. so
Some
I believe
directors
them.
have a specific, style, and that's his.
I was also getting a little bit of a Fifth Element vibe in that extended trailer.
Okay,
He
okay, I
puts-
see
he,
it.
He put
Oh, with
like
the stone thing?
Yeah, the stone in the thing, and then he was like, "We need water," and then she like gets it from his forehead and like activates the stone with the water. I was like, "Oh, that's totally Fifth Element."
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Good callback.
But it looked awesome. CG looked great. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
good
excited for
graphics
this
so
movie.
far. So
I'm worried a little bit. The extended trailer gave away like all the good stuff.
A lot.
Yeah, it was quite long.
Yeah.
For a teaser anyway.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
pretty excited for Manta, dude.
Yeah,
like
Black Manta.
Black
man,
Manta looks
that-
awesome. Yeah.
that helmet so huge. All
Yeah.
the
It
just
looks perfect. Like
it
that's what I'm
was
hoping for Mysterio in the new Spider-Man because they've been teasing.
Yeah.
Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal,
Gyllenhaal.
yeah.
Like they got a couple of shots of him in the suit, and I was just like, oh, I want
Oh, they
the
have to
fishbowl.
just like commit, just go for it. Like,
Yeah.
when
Right.
When you go for
100%.
ridiculous,
Just
just,
stick the
go
landing,
full
bro.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
The guy's
Stick
already
the
wearing a
landing.
cape.
In
He's got a
spandex,
shiny
right?
suit on.
Yeah.
Give him a fucking fishbowl on his head. Just go full crazy.
Totally.
It's gonna look
It's
awesome.
little things like that that can make or break a movie. Like, I mean, at least from a nerd perspective, like if you see that costume, like how excited when they first showed it was everybody. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
they didn't get scared and shy away from it. Like they went with it and it works. Like I'm excited for it. It's whatever, about the running on, rooftops. Like I felt like if you've seen that in one movie, you've seen it in all movies. Bond does it over and over. Like
That's so true.
every other movie, they're like put him back on, same with Mission Impossible. But
Right, Tom Cruise
looks
ran for
fun.
like 5 miles. I was just thinking,
right over and over, and they're joking he's still running on the rooftop, like just but it works. I think they actually have chemistry. Amber Heard is I think good as
Mira.
Mira, and yeah, should be fun.
Did you guys think of the costume at the end though?
Yeah,
Dude,
they kind
I
of gave
dug
a
it.
feel
Yeah,
for
I like
the
that.
dug it
old
big time.
orange and green costume.
Kinda works.
It kind of works. I'm telling you.
the classic
totally
works, bro.
works.
Momoa, I like that casting since day one. Eddie can argue it, but he's perfect for some.
He could if he was here.
Where is he today, Felix?
I didn't even think about that. I don't know. Get back to me
Oh,
later.
I got it.
Yeah, where's he at?
Today, he's trying to pump irons, but since it's leg day, he couldn't do it, so he's just chilling at home.
You saying he has chicken legs? You hear that, Eddie?
Our personal Momoa. Wonder.
He's just jealous he doesn't have the hair. That's all.
So another exciting casting for the boys. It was
Oh,
awesome. They got Simon
man.
Pegg in this, which was awesome. They actually designed a character after Simon Pegg. Even though he's not going to be playing that character specifically, he'll be playing that character's father. Still awesome. They got him on board. Can't wait for the show. They also put out a little teaser. Did you see that?
Yes,
It was a prom
I,
photo, right? Or the picture of him with the kid, or he's playing his son. Did you guys see that picture? Like, it was tweeted. It was him sitting like, the prom photo poses with the kid who's in the boys.
Oh,
nice.
no,
Yeah.
I didn't see the photo
Little
yet.
wee
It was
Huey
hilarious.
as a kid.
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
I just posted the teaser trailer for you guys, but
Yeah, it's really cool.
so good so far,
it's
man.
basically like a commercial for VOT, which is like their
Superhero group.
It's like their government agency that controls most superheroes, and it's all peachy, and you like to. It's kind of like Jurassic Park, you come to the park and love it. We're all good people and all that stuff, but then it flips to like the boys watching the TV,
Agency.
watching this stupid commercial, and they all just kind of flip off the TV, and they're
It's gonna be good.
it's just super graphic, so it's perfect for them.
So I know you guys have talked about The Boys before, but give me the elevator pitch one more time, just so I know what we're getting into.
Who read the graphic novels?
Probably just me and you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pitch is the boys are the outer group agency, kind of like a CIA or FBI. They keep an eye on all the superheroes and put them in check because behind the scenes, these superheroes live a very Las Vegas style life.
Yep.
They're raunchy. They're dirty. They all sleep with each other. One villain has a fascination with a hamster.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So remember how Saga gets crazy?
This one is equally kind of out there.
This one's equally out there too.
Better leave that hamster alone.
Just-
Oh,
Where's
you
this
don't want
airing? What station?
this one's Amazon.
Amazon,
Okay.
Yeah. So it should be, I think, full on
R?
Yeah.
TVMA,
Yeah.
whatever you want
It's
to call
gonna
it.
need it too.
It's gonna get pretty raunchy. But the way
Same
they
guy
write
did
it,
Preacher, right?
I believe so.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's
I think
along
it's
those lines of the
Garth Ennis as well.
craziness, the way the writing is done. But the storyline is very intricate. How sometimes the superheroes do fuck up, people do die. So they have to investigate the situation. How the superheroes either try to cover it up or a villain went out of line, and they put these characters in check, and they don't like to be put in check at all. They considered the boys, the group, to be like what's that word? Below them.
They're kind of like internal affairs. They're like,
yeah.
nobody likes them because they're going after, all the superheroes. But VOT, they're paid to cover everything up.
Exactly.
When bad things happen, like, the city gets destroyed, well, it's good on the superhero. We'll cover up that 1 million people died. Nobody sees that,
Exactly.
and that the boys will come in and have to, basically put the superheroes that did that in check or in prison, whatever. They're the ones that have to, like, I don't
They
know.
police the
Got it.
superheroes.
Police,
Hold-
yeah,
hold-
exactly.
hold them
Police
accountable
hold
for
them
their
accountable.
actions.
Exactly.
Well, speaking
So
of
These
Preacher,
guys have powers themselves, right?
Yeah. Just want to do a quick mention that Neil Gaiman, so he gets season 2 of American Gods on Stars, but his other shows coming out too. Good Omen, and it's Simon Pegg, another British actor. I posted a trailer on our chat. The Good Omen looks really good. So it's the devil and the angel working together to stop the Armageddon, so that they can enjoy the world a little more.
Oh, nice. I didn't see the trailer yet.
Yeah, it looks hilarious.
Who's the big name?
John
in that
Hamm.
one?
John
Huh?
Hamm's in?
John Hamm from Mad Men.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
in
okay.
it.
No kidding.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, it's sorry, it's not Simon Pegg. It's David Tennant as a devil, and
What?
it's David
Okay.
Tennant is the devil, and the angel is played by the British guy in Underworld. That he was a werewolf.
Okay.
Okay.
Him, that actor. He's the angel
Okay. Interesting.
with blonde hair.
I have to check
But
that.
they've been friends for centuries, and they realized that they enjoyed the finer things of life. So they lived throughout the centuries, enjoying like all the different food,
Yeah, the finer
lifestyles.
things, the wine. The
Yeah,
cigarettes,
exactly.
The girls, and now they're like, well, we got to put off this apocalypse. We actually like this.
Yeah, so they actually have to work together. So the
Nice.
trailer is very funny. I think you guys will like it.
All right. Also, in this week in Marvel, they put out some trailers for Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
That
bro.
animation looks really, really cool.
Right,
There's,
it
like,
looks
so many
so
different types,
clean.
like kind of meshed together. The storyline looks awesome. You got all these different Spider-Man.
I couldn't stop laughing. That's just the gimmick of they're on the ceiling,
Yeah.
moving left to right, trying to avoid his friend,
It looks like Spider-Man: Homecoming.
who then looks up and he's like, and he just passes out.
That's why I know. Why did they make Peter Parker look like a homeless fat guy?
Yeah,
As I was watching in the trailer, he just looks like a really old, out of shape bum,
a little bit, a little bit.
like the washed up ears of Peter Parker. or something.
Right?
Yeah, well, he's from a universe where he just took a few months off.
I guess. But anyways, besides that, it looks really cool though. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, you had.
Maybe they try to make it after Jack Johnson, to match his 5 o'clock shadow.
That's who it was. Okay, I was trying to
there you
remember
go.
what voice it was. I don't know if I don't know. I got to get used to it. His voice is a little jarring for me,
Yeah.
but
He's
whatever.
hilarious
so
in New Girls. If you guys ever seen it.
Oh, I know. I've seen him in lots of stuff. He's good, but his voice is just throwing me off a little bit. Just seeing him, especially just coming out the game. But then,
Right.
yeah, I'm really excited to hear Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir. That's
Totally,
the one thing I really want to see.
I was
right
so
there.
surprised by that casting. I was like, what?
I love that. And then he supposedly modeled his voice after like Humphrey Bogart, like from back in the old
Okay.
like
I
1940s
dig it.
movies.
Oh,
So
that's
I dig it.
amazing.
I can't wait to hear how that comes out. So yeah,
that's
looks like they
pretty
got a bunch
fun.
of like classic villains too. I think I saw Tombstone, Scorpion. I think
Yeah.
Prowler was in there, Kingpin.
Mhm.
They got some
There's a
interesting
couple other
character
guys in there
designs.
too. Yeah,
Interesting
it looks like
those.
some of them are mixed up too. It looks like the Ultimate Green Goblin, like the big like demon
Yeah,
version.
Yeah.
Then you got this weird hybrid version of Scorpion where he
Yeah.
looks like part mutated and then part costume. So
If I know my Miles Morales history, Peter Parker in the Ultimate World died,
Right.
and that was from the big hulked up Green Goblin.
mhm.
So hopefully they bring that in, and there was also Gwen Stacy's Spider Girl or Spider Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
They had the little
Spider Pig.
yeah, they had Spider Pig.
I thought that was
They had
hilarious.
They had the little girl with the like
With the mech.
mech spider. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know that one. But it looks cool. The animation looks really, really good.
Mhm. I'm
Speaking of Spider Verse, guess what starts this week? Spider Geddon.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
The
I think the
new-
first issue just came out.
Yeah.
I was watching the Marvel Daily Update on YouTube.
Very cool.
Yes.
Wait, so what is a spider again? I know it's supposed to be like just clash of all like Spider-Man variations and whatnot.
Yeah, they're all coming together because instead of the chaos taking place on all the other universe, this time the chaos is taking place on Peter Parker's universe. So everybody's coming in to lend a hand. Even the new Spider-Man
Yeah.
from the game.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna
Right.
introduce the
Yes.
Web suit.
Yeah, which I really like that suit.
I like it now.
There's some kind of like higher entity, like the Beyonders or whatever, that kind of feed off the spider essence or whatever of the universe. And that-
Madam Web.
Yeah, something like that. So they're kind of banding together to avoid all dying out.
Yes.
So that's kind of the short.
I'm a sucker for this kind of team up because I love it from as a kid, right? I loved it in Power Rangers. I loved it in Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers crossover.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy the big team up because as a kid, when I would go visit my aunt and uncle and cousins back in Thailand, I watched Kamen Rider, and it's a saga series where like they all team up like 4 or 5 at a time to defeat the bad guy, and it's always been cool for me when
it
it was
always,
a big
it always
team up,
raises the stakes.
right?
Yeah.
It's always a little more serious.
Totally. One side note on Into the Spider-Verse, if you stay for the second after scenes credit in Venom, there's a little teaser trailer, longer one for it. So yeah, which is kind of a little interesting.
Did
But
you like it, Gagne?
It was entertaining. I definitely agree on the animation, and I'm excited to see what characters they're throwing in there. So of course I'm going to watch it. So I thought the extended preview it's campy. It's it's supposed to play for young audiences too. So we'll see.
Another side note for Marvel, Captain America, Chris Evans, he wrapped up his shooting for Captain America. So he's done. His
He
contract
thanked
is up.
everybody.
Yeah, he put a nice little message on Twitter. He's done his part. My captain, he's out.
That means he's dead in
For
Avengers 4.
now,
Do you think this is for sure, or just another ploy by the Russo brothers?
Oh, he's done.
He's
He
gonna
wants to
die.
he's
die.
done with his contract.
Yeah.
I mean that's the long and short of it. Is $25 million offer? You don't think he comes back and plays if they need him to? Of course they would. But he's filled his contract, and it was through Avengers 4, and he's done. So
I think he's just tired of not having carbs for all those years. every
10
family
years, 10 years
gathering,
with no carbs.
all his friends having carbs during Thanksgiving and holiday festival. He's like, smells so
Yeah, I
good.
bet you they're all jealous of his fucking Captain America. muscles, though.
Yeah.
But no carbs for 10 years. I like my pasta.
That's right. It's a good thing he hangs out with other guys named Chris that are just as ripped.
No kidding, right?
Jeez.
They probably all have like little, competitions.
I
beside
wonder
that.
if they're called. I wonder if like they all get together and call themselves the No Carb Crew, right? The only person that eats carb is Donnie Jr. He's
right.
like, no, I'm not worried
Probably
about it.
sends them
No
pictures
carb
of,
Chris's.
like, eating pizza and shit.
The No Carb Chris's. Wow, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be like, yo, man, that pizza looks too good. I can't pass it up.
We'll miss you, Cap.
So quickly here, Gagne, Movie Pass is back. They got a little cash influx. What happened with that?
He's so
Yeah,
excited.
so like it's almost like Saved by the Bell at this point. Like $65 million to stick around for a while. I'm impressed in the sense that they're gonna be able to keep paying their bills, but I don't really know if it changes how long. Yeah, I mean, they get new financing, and it's just kind of like, well, now what are they going to do? It's a matter of time before they run out of that cash, or are they going to raise more funds to get another series of funding? The interesting thing is like the timing, because like most people, when it launched, they're at that 1 year now, and so everybody who started early and signed up, are they still continuing to sign up? Did they let it go by the wayside? They only had like over 3 million subscribers. So how many people hold out now that they've changed their tune and how they're doing stuff? So it's great, but it's still like they only offer certain movies at certain times. And, now it's down to 3 times a month, which still pays for itself. But
Right.
if you're always having to choose where and when you can go, or, do you like me and try to sneak into the show you really want to go see, then I just don't see people continuing to sign up. Unless they're like huge fans.
I imagine their subscriber base has plummeted.
Yeah, half of it. I think they got up to 5 million at one point. They're down to like 3.3. So
Damn.
Yikes.
I'm surprised they were able to raise enough funding. Like that's impressive that somebody believed in their stock enough to give them some more money.
Yeah, that's true.
They probably cashed out like a favor in Silicon Valley. Remember that one time I saved your ass? I'm gonna need to cash out right now.
Now it's your turn. I need 65 million.
In cash.
Trust us, this will work.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a stopgap. Well, we'll keep updated on the movie pass. It seems to be afloat and alive for now.
I'm the only one who has it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
You're the one.
We'll keep
It sounds like a life raft situation right now.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like just trying to survive, trying to hang out.
It helps.
with
It helps my movie fix. I can get in for my three movies a month
Yeah, it
for
still
$10.
works out.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least on news, we wanted to give a quick rest in peace to Scott Wilson, a.k.a. Herschel from The Walking Dead. Gunny, I know you had a list of other stuff that he had.
Yeah, I mean, he was just really big on The Walking Dead for, this for recently, but like you go back to like the 90s and he was in, I mean, not even 90s, but he was in stuff like The Last Samurai and Monster in the early 2000s, and then Pearl Harbor and The Way of the Gun, one of my favorite films. Clay Pigeons, G.I. Jane. I mean, he was just a character actor that was in like these movies that you would see. He was Dead Man Walking. Like, if you go back and watch these films, you're like, oh, hey, it's Herschel.
Like, oh, there he is.
Exactly. And then he just broke out with this role, which, in my opinion, was the last time I really loved The Walking Dead when
you're right.
when he passed. But he will be missed.
Yes, sir.
Big time.
Rest in peace, sir.
Sorry, B, sir.
All right. Let's
Speaking of The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Felix, you had some Telltale news.
Yeah, so we mentioned a couple weeks ago that Telltale's Walking Dead, the final season, was pretty much in limbo because they closed down. But this is according to IGN. I'm just reading straight off the article right now. But Robert Kirkman announced that the final episodes of Telltale Games' The Walking Dead, the final season, will be released via his company Skybound. This was announced over the weekend at New York Comic Con on Saturday. So apparently they negotiated with Telltale Games for his company to go ahead and come in and see the season through. So it looks like it's going to get finished off at some point.
That's really cool. I think that Kirkman has probably enough money to do that. So it's cool to see him jump to, the defense of his project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
series.
it's a really good story. I mean, like I said, I didn't finish it all the way through, but what I did play, I really enjoyed. It's really good,
we'll finally get some
storytelling.
closure.
Mm-hmm. So, especially for those that really stuck it out, because if one series did stay consistent, it was The Walking Dead. They just came out so many other games I couldn't keep up, but that one was one that consistently stayed good from what I was, what I've heard. So, yeah, it's good to know that they're finally going to wrap it up appropriately.
That's nice. Are they going to hire back any of the Telltale people, or is it just kind of taking?
Yeah, actually, I think I saw that they're going to hire former employees on a contract basis. So, yeah, looks like they're going to get the actual people that were involved and not just some outsourced company.
Yeah.
So,
okay, that's good.
Yeah, right.
So there you go. Maybe you still get your game.
That's smart. They're hiring people that know what they're doing. Good business motto.
Yeah,
I like it.
It'd be tough to put in a whole new team and try and come up with the same game. So
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you're hiring a bunch of new writers to finish out what other writers had in mind originally. Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
yeah, well, good on them. I think that's a pretty cool announcement.
So yeah, there you go.
All right, so I guess let's do real quick this week in nerdy news, Felix.
Oh snap!
Ooh.
Yeah, just because I didn't do a lot this week. Sorry, had a busy week, so
No worries.
we got a few little facts real quick, like so. And this week, whatever the hell this show is called, from the week of October 7th to the week of October, or to the date of October 13th.
It's called Now You Know.
Yeah, sure. On October 15th, 1968, the original Guardians of the Galaxy made their debut in comics in Marvel Superheroes number 18. This is not the Guardians of the Galaxy you know in the movies whatsoever.
Nope.
This is actually the Sylvester Stallone version of the Guardians of the Galaxy you saw in Volume 2. Characters included Martin X, who actually made an appearance in Guardians Volume 2, played by Michael Rosenbaum. He was that crystal
Right, the
looking
crystal
dude.
guy.
So he was in there. Also, Charlie 27, who was played by Ving Rhames at the very end. He was that big
like a
giant
big old
dude.
giant, yeah.
Mhm. And then, of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
Yondu. You know, of course,
Yeah.
everybody, Mary Poppins, everybody's favorite. Also, a character called Vance Astro, and then also Starhawk, who also known as Stakar, who was played by Stallone in the movie. So yeah, those characters made their debut a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
So there you go. In the world of video games, just a couple of video game anniversaries I want to mention. October 7th, 2009, Demon Souls debuted on the PS3 in the USA.
Oh, man,
Not to mention it.
Yeah,
You
no,
didn't even play it. You can't take.
Bro, Demon Souls. Did you ever try to follow the notes that was left behind?
Yeah, it's a hard-ass game.
I
It's
couldn't
great,
follow
though.
the notes 'cause I felt like it was a prank. It's a trolling.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple times I actually followed the notes, and I'm like,
Yeah, please move
Oh,
forward.
cool,
and
I'm
then
dead.
off a cliff.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about that game. People could troll you because people could leave messages on that, like, "Oh yeah, just walk forward, treasures away," and it's a fucking like booby trap and it
Yeah.
blows you up.
Or
whatever.
like you
Fucking
go into,
dragon. Yeah.
there's a fucking monster, and I'm like,
It's,
oh cool, I can't go back, and I'm low on health.
Yeah. Or they'll just mock you, be like, "Good luck," as you're stuck in a room with this giant troll. So yeah, that came out. But for all the people that couldn't handle the hardcoreness, a week later, on October 13th, 2009, Uncharted 2: Among Thieves was released on the PS3 as
There you
well.
go.
Probably the
I think
best
it was
one
a
in my.
dig at Eddie. Couldn't handle the hardness.
exactly.
Yeah, so
Uncharted with Tufa was fantastic, though.
it was still awesome. It's still the best one in my opinion. Still great. So yeah, that came out. And then in the world of movies and TVs and other media, October 7th, 2003, Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor of California.
Hey,
That
Governor.
The
The governor.
Governor.
Yep.
Jinx Yomiko.
Then October 7th, 2008, streaming service Spotify was launched. So however you listen to your music nowadays, my main source, Spotify. That happened. Then on October 8th, 1927, actually, way long time ago, Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy appeared for the first time as a comic duo in a silent film, The Second 100 Years. So just worth noting because I was a big Laurel and Hardy fan as a kid. I watched a lot of their movies. So classic comedy duo. So yeah, that happened. And then on October 11th, 1975, Saturday Night Live premiered on NBC with George Carlin as the first host.
Oh, wow. I love me some George Carlin.
And it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, and then last little interesting fact, on October 11th, 2006, 30 Rock starring Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin debuted on NBC. So there you go.
People like that one.
You forgot Robin.
I liked it.
Oh yeah, there too. But yeah, so there's a bunch of other random shows that debuted, but these are the first ones that caught my eye. So
That's
the
the
stuff.
segment name right there. So that happened.
So
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So
there
that
you go.
happened. There you go. There's the stuff you didn't know you wanted to know about.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Felix. That was some good stuff.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Learn something
Good
new.
old Uncharted 2. One of the best openings in all games.
Oh yeah.
Is it bad that I never played that or heard of that dragon movie you guys or dragon game you guys mentioned on
Demon
PS3? I was
Souls.
like, Demon Souls. Yeah, thanks. Dragons, demons. It's
Well,
like,
it's-
It
Well,
was
it's the
the,
first one of the Souls
Right,
series. So
predecessor to
Dark Souls,
Dark
and then
Souls.
Dark Souls
Oh,
2,
okay,
and then
okay.
Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 happened. I don't know, some weird company issues happened. I'm sure Eddie can explain whenever he returns from the moon, and he'll tell you more about it.
awesome.
dang it, Eddie.
Come back to us.
Right. All right. So for the month of Halloween, we decided we're going to do some scary movie reviews.
Heck yeah.
The month of
started
Halloween.
with-
It's my
yes,
favorite month.
The month
Halloween.
of Halloween. So we're starting with the classic The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's awesome,
Whoa,
scariest movie ever.
we can't
right,
call it
Johnny?
awesome apparently because not everybody thought it was awesome. Cough, cough.
Where do we start here? So The Shining was basically it was a book by Stephen King, who is well known for his crazy outlandish kind of crazy horror movies. This was no different. Kind of starts out with this, long scenery shots. Sam was talking
The
about
wide
this
shots.
right before we were talking, and just kind of like these unsettling tones and kind of creepy music.
that violin string, just
Yeah.
just keep on going.
Basically deals with a guy that he gets hired on to take over maintenance for this hotel during the winter, and he goes crazy with cabin fever, and things happen and his family takes the brunt of it. What you guys think about this as a scary movie? I know there are different opinions in here.
I would like to hear Gagne actually. if Gagne could go first, I'm interested.
I toned down my very angry,
scathing review
to a more constructive criticism review. I got bored with the movie, and so I started looking up fun facts about the movie. So I'll give you the fun facts first. The exterior shots are shot at the Timberline Lodge, which is at Mount Hood, which is just about 2 hours away from me here. So if you guys want to go take an adventure this winter, we can go run around the exterior shooting for the overlook.
Okay. That would be sweet. Cool.
It is interior shots are based off the Ahwahnee, which is inside Yosemite National Park, which is beautiful also, by the way. And the actual place that inspired it is in Colorado in Estes, and I don't know if they renamed it, but it's called the Stanley Hotel. So I don't know if that was just because that's where, I don't know, but that's what it's called now. And they do have a actual maze that they put in. It was never there before, but because of the movie, they put in a maze.
Yeah, clever.
So great cinematography in the movie, like Kubrick does. He's got an eye for certain shots. I think some of them are a little too long. It reminded me of how I felt in Lawrence of Arabia, just I get it. Yep. Yeah. She's naked and they're gonna kiss and just get on with it. So my continuing gripe of some of these classics is that no one ever told the awesome director, edit this a little bit more, and it could be, I think, a little bit more gripping. And so it felt long to me at some points. I'm sorry, but Shelley Duvall, I don't know how she got that acting job, because I thought she was really bad as the wife, and Wendy, and I just she made Jack Nicholson look comedic because he's so good that and she's so bad. It was just what's happening here? I just couldn't watch the scenes of them together. So I don't know. I was a little disappointed because this is one of those that everyone says is this classic horror, and there's all these great, here's Johnny, and all these all work, no play make Jack a dull boy. There's all these classic moments in it, but I just felt myself wanting more, and it didn't feel that scary other than the score, which was making me irritated more than it was making me feel eerie.
Really?
Just just
the tones. I'm over the tones.
Just something about it was oh God, this is nails on a chalkboard, and it doesn't make it scary, just makes it irritating. So gotcha. I give it a 6 out of 10. I was a little let down.
Was this your first time watching it?
It was my first time watching it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So I've seen bits and pieces of it, on TV. You always can seem to catch a part of it. So I've seen some of the chase through the maze, and the riding the tricycle through the hotel. I've seen a lot of but just never from start to finish.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, Felix, I know you said you've seen it a few times, and it kind of gets better as more you saw it.
I mean, I saw it again, and I wouldn't know if necessarily it gets better. I mean, it's one of those films. Again, film is subjective to everybody. But I still get memories of when I was a kid when I saw it, which is where all the terror lies for me, of course, because it still just has just a very unsettling feeling about the whole film. Whether it's the score, just the static shots, I think it's meant to make you feel uncomfortable, because there's just a lot of times where you just feel sickly just by sitting there and just watching what's happening, and whether it's just the twins just standing there, and normally that's not scary, but it's just very unsettling watching these two motionless porcelain dolls standing there and just staring at you with dead faces. Just very creepy, because I don't know, to me, the mind is one of the scariest things, that your mind can play tricks on you. And it's one of those movies that really makes you kind of feel what's around the corner, what's in that room. It just plays tricks with you. And then, I don't know, to me, it still works. I still enjoy it. I still feel that sense of dread and eeriness, and the steady decline of Jack's madness, or descent into madness. I think it's a really good build up to it. And the score, like you said, you can definitely find it irritating. I can definitely see how you can, say that about it, Gagne. But to me, it kind of accompanies that unsettling feeling. Like I was saying, it makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel just not safe in your own skin. And you ever hang out in a giant empty room, it's scary in a way. I don't know, just that empty void is freakish to me, especially being in a giant hotel where there's hundreds of rooms, however many, and anybody can be hiding out. Just the scene where Shelley Duvall runs back in, she's there's a crazy woman
lady
attacking the boy, just that idea, whether or not she's there, fuck that. That's a scary idea, you know? So to me, it still works on a lot of different levels, you know, whether the sound, the kid surprisingly kind of sells me a lot of it. And I guess he actually improvised a little finger speech that he does.
When he's Tony.
Yeah. So I think that actually worked for me. Shelley Duvall, she's pretty she's pretty cringy in a lot of areas, but she's got a pretty good distressed face. And I actually read some facts too that Stanley Kubrick actually purposely like gave her a hard time on set and made a lot of the staff kind of treat her like shit in a way that way she can get that ragged, kind of like stressed out feel. And it definitely comes across. I don't know whether or not I agree with the methods, but it definitely shows in her performance, whether or not her line delivery is great. But I still see the stress on her, but Jack Nicholson steals it. I mean, like he hands down just wins this all throughout. I mean, he just has that he's got a great face when it comes to just showing expressing emotions and just his madness. Those eyebrows, dude. Yeah. They do so much.
Eyebrows.
I mean, in my opinion, I still think the film works. I don't know if it's necessarily a great horror movie for this generation. I don't feel like a lot of the younger generation sees this as sort of scary the way this was for me when I was younger, but to me it still works. I mean, I still definitely get a sense of terror out of it, whether or not you can call it a horror movie in anybody's opinion. I still like it. I still think the film works for me personally.
Where's your score?
I would say let's go with an 8.5 on this.
All right.
Yeah. Nice.
That's pretty good. Pretty good marks. What do you think, Sam?
For me, as a kid, I was horrified, and then watching it as a grown-ass man, I wasn't as horrified. I was just more logistic. Like, I'm somewhere in the middle because I really enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed the cinematography, the intense like violin sound, the build-up. But I didn't like the fact that like he applied for the job and didn't do his job. But his wife's walking around taking notes.
Totally.
She's like taking notes of like the power,
right?
the power grid. She knows the kitchen. Like she's doing all of his work. I'm like, you should go in there and tell him get his ass to work because like he has like 4 to 5 months to get it done.
And then the whole time he's stressing out because he's got so much work to do. Right?
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're just being lazy. Like this movie just be called Jack Nicholson's Lazy because like. His character like didn't really do his job, right? Logistically speaking, he said he was going to. He's so excited to interview. Oh yeah, sounds great. I'm gonna get all this done. Didn't do shit. His wife's doing all the work, and I'm like, that's messed up, bro. You better give her your paycheck. But for the horror parts, yeah, it was really cool. I enjoyed the build up. I really enjoyed how it was played out, but I wish it still scared me as it did as a kid. Because, like, as a kid, we grew up on some fucked up horror movies. And this one really reminded me how horrified I was as a child, right? So there was some angst watching this as an adult. And I'm like, I'll turn the light off, too. Make it fully complete, immerse. And as I'm watching, I'm like, it's not too bad. I'm actually watching it, enjoying its artistic form more.
Sure.
Than I expected, which surprised the shit out of me. Because I was ready to be horrified, be scared.
I'm kind of the same, too.
But when the bloody scene came through, when the naked chick showed up, it wasn't too bad. I just really enjoyed the psychological...
Naked chicks are so scary.
I know, right? I just enjoyed the psychological aspect of Jack Nicholson breaking apart, how he goes to an empty bar, starts talking to Lloyd, he's broke. Yep. Oh, don't worry, sir, your money's no good here. Yeah.
I like there's kind of a parallel between him seeing this invisible bartender,
yes,
and then his son having his invisible friend too, and kind of just the psychological trauma they both have.
They're fighting each other.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. Bless you again.
Thank you. So yeah, just to see the idea of kind of like a versus mode, father versus son, to see what's going on, and for one split second, you actually felt bad for him because he got accused of his son getting hurt. When he didn't do anything at all. Like, he's losing his mind, but he didn't physically do it. But she already accused him.
That's true. She accused him because of his past of hurting the kid beforehand. He got a little drunk. What'd you give it as a score, Sam?
My score, I'd probably give it a 8.5 because my favorite part was him going up the stairs, stop swinging the bat.
Yeah.
Stop swinging it.
I
And
was
you see
gonna
that
say-
Joker face.
I was just gonna bring that up too.
Oh,
Uh,
my bad.
No, it's cool. He gives you that perfect vibe, and as you can tell, this is why he got cast as Joker. He's coming up the stairs, and he's clearly got that insane look in his face.
Yes.
And, he's teasing her and goading her on, and he's got that real Nicholson thing going, and it was perfect. Like you could totally see Joker out of that one.
Did you notice the cut shot, Adam? How he had basically reached the top of the stairs and they had to cut in another like couple steps for him to reach the stairs again.
Really? I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Yeah, so the staircase isn't as long as the shot was, and that like they cut it, and then he's like back down a little bit again, and still coming up the stairs. And I was like, "Come on,
little Monty Python right there."
a little bit. Maybe it's supposed to be trippy because
It's Kubrick.
trippiness.
Hey man, it's all about mind games in that movie, and whether or not maybe he was been at the hotel before, and was it him that killed his family in previous incarnation? Maybe he came back and did it again. It's all trippy Stephen King like sci-fi stuff is out there. I think this was the first movie that introduced the Indian burial ground. The Overlook was built on top of this Indian burial ground, and that's where all the spirits hang out after their life. And for me, when I was a kid, it was definitely scary. You had these moments like the blood coming down the elevator.
Yes.
The shot with the kid on the tricycle going through the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
just like such a fantastic long shot, but it's so eerie and just going through these hallways of nothing, and then stumbling upon these two little girls right out of nowhere. Very trippy as a kid.
or the fact that he actually reached for the door with the key, and you're like, "Don't do it!
Right.
Don't do it, little kid!
Yeah, he
You're
got all
crazy."
this kind of insider information from The Shining, which was kind of like, I don't know, their access to the Force
It's like a
or whatever.
psychic link or something
little
like that.
psychic
Yeah,
powers.
him and-
Psychic powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and the head cook, I forget his name, but they had like a connection in a way where he like spoke to him psychically using The Shining.
Yep.
So I'm kind of interested for the sequel now, knowing that it's Ewan McGregor
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
playing the little kid
Interesting.
grown up.
Dr. Sleep, I believe.
That's
is what it's
right.
called.
Wait,
Yeah.
so what?
Yep.
What is this again? That's happening?
It's the son grown up. His mother's died, and he's a nurse at this psych ward.
Hmm.
Yeah, it should
Interesting.
be interesting. That's
Yeah,
sequel
I kind
to
of
The
want to go back
Shining.
and read the book because apparently Stephen King actually hated this movie because it's
Yeah.
not at all like his book
Oh, yeah?
whatsoever. Like, he
Nothing
took a lot
like
of
the
crazy
book.
liberties about it. Yeah. And I guess they actually made a miniseries about this in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, I think.
97.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, and I guess it was much more accurate to Stephen King's novel, but it flopped and nobody really gave a shit.
the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious. I would like to go back and read that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your rating, good sir?
I actually really liked this movie. I liked the hedge maze a lot when I was a kid, and then I remember Nicholson just freezing to death, and that stuck with me for a long, long time. But I gave this movie like an 8.5. I like most of you guys. It's pretty
Okay.
high up there for me.
I'm like Jack, out in the cold.
It's okay. We still love you, bro. We still love you. What's the next movie you guys have in mind for review?
I say let's go
What do
for
we
The
do?
Exorcist.
The Exorcist?
I've never seen it.
Really?
I've never seen it.
Oh, you never seen it, bro?
Mm-mm.
You're gonna love the music too.
All right. It's
Am
been a
I?
million years since I've seen it. So
Yeah, I've seen it once, but
Yeah.
okay.
You don't seem excited.
Well, Exorcist or The Omen?
I could do either or. I've seen The Omen.
I've never seen The
Been
Omen.
a minute since I've seen The Omen.
Yeah.
Let's go Exorcist.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with The Exorcist next week. The classic split pea soup
Nice.
should be good. All right, guys, let's move on to our
Rice
review
compels you.
for Venom.
Ooh.
Venom.
Fill me in, guys. Fill me in.
So Felix got in. I saw this one. Rotten Tomatoes had
Tomatoes.
this at what 29%.
I thought it was 23.
It was pretty low. It was in the 20s.
They hated it,
Yeah,
basically.
somewhere.
Critics demolished this movie.
Was it because of Eminem's soundtrack?
that song's bad.
Give or take with that one. But the audience score was closer to 90% on this one. So
Yeah, it's higher. Much
I was
higher.
pretty on the fence going into this movie. Left it thinking that it was way better than I initially had thought. What did you think, Felix?
I went in there with like low expectations, regardless of what critics are saying, but I kind of went in there ready to make my own opinion, and I liked it. It was
Nice.
fun. This is a popcorn film. This is absolutely just 100%. I'm just going in there and just have fun. I mean, obviously, if you want to go in there to break apart the movie and just like find all these things to
pick it
pick at, then sure, go and have a shitty time and go waste your money. But if you just want to go in there and just have a good time, just watch a fun, dumb superhero movie, like go ahead and watch it. It's a fucking movie about an alien that infects a dude, and then like now he's going around eating people. Yeah, that's what it is. What the hell do you want out of this? You know, like it's a fun, dumb comic book movie. It kind of reminds me of early like before the MCU spoiled everybody. Like it's just a standalone film. I can kind of almost like. Maybe the Incredible Hulk in a way. It's just like a standalone adventure kind of guy. He fights another version of himself in the end, and
almost like Ghost Rider.
Less weird faces.
Okay. no jelly beans.
Not as cagey. Well, actually, no. Tom Hardy gets pretty crazy in this one. I gotta say, he gets pretty awkward all throughout. But it's a fun movie, and I know I was really hesitant about this early on in the year because I have a huge problem with Venom existing without Spider-Man because I'm a old school comic Spider-Man fan. Yeah, but to me this is still Venom. This is definitely a later version of Venom. This is definitely after he this is a version of the hell is it called? Forget what it was called. Whatever. He Lethal Protector, the kind of story where he's out there being an anti-hero, and he's just a big dumb animal, and he definitely comes across that. Yeah,
he's supposed to be a big guy.
He's got dumb jokes going on, but kind of he just reminds you of the guy who just says a sick, fucked up joke and laughs to himself about it.
Are you talking about
nobody
Eddie?
else is laughing. I guess maybe
Eddie Brock.
It's less dad jokey, but like it's more just saying dumb things. Like when there's a scene where he walks into the restaurant and he's all possessed by the Venom symbiote and he's all sick and all that. And he grabs like a lobster off a tray and he's like, "That's dead. That thing is dead." Like it's just so ridiculous. Like what the fuck? It's just kind of weird, but it works for this character. And
he wasn't full Ace Ventura, which what I was.
No, not at all. It was definitely a lot of like just awkward humor, like just weird conversations between the two characters, and it works for me. Like it's sort of a buddy cop kind of movie in a way.
A little bit.
Yeah, like there's one point Venom's telling Eddie Brock, he's like, "Yeah, where I come from, my planet, I'm a loser, just like you." Stuff like that.
I hate that line.
It's dumb, but to me, it's just funny. And there's just a lot of little quips like that I enjoyed. And this could work without Spider-Man because he's not fully Spider-ish. Like besides the actual resemblance and look of it, he's not swinging around or anything like that. He's more animalistic, where he's pouncing on things left and right.
How's the CGI in this one?
It's decent. It's not like top notch by any means. Like the last fight scene is pretty rough, honestly, because it's at night and Venom's black, and then this Riot's like just off blackish white kind of character, so it's hard to see a lot of it. It looks kind of muddy, but for the most part, when he transforms, he looks awesome.
It does do some cool like kind of Matrix style turnarounds where you get to see kind of them inside the symbiote while they're fighting. But it is a little bit jarring trying to figure out who's who.
Yeah.
At some points. Gagne, what'd you think, man?
I liked it for all the stuff that Felix said. I think I sided with you, Adam, on that line. That line did make me cringe, and I was like, is this the turning point? Is this where it starts to go bad? Like, because I've been having fun, but they could just really F me like Sony likes to do. So I understood what Hardy was doing. Like, in the previews we were all just like, what is he doing? Like his voice, but I kind of get it. It was like he was scared. He literally didn't know what was happening to him. And so like, he was kind of playing like a scared little boy, maybe. That's my interpretation of it. But I liked it. I thought the effects were good. I thought the script was witty and, kept you moving. It was fun. I thought I went in with mild expectations of like, okay, this is Tom Hardy. Like he doesn't choose crappy films. Like this has got to be okay, right? And then it turned out to be okay. I mean, yeah. I liked Riz Ahmed as the bad guy. He was from Rogue One. I don't know if you guys recognized him. He looked a little different without his getup, but I thought he was good as a bad guy. And
was Carlton Drake, the head of the Life Foundation, which sent up a spaceship, which was credited J. Jonah Jameson Jr. as the astronaut.
John Jameson.
Yeah, which actually in the comic books he was the one that
I did like that.
And brought the symbiote kind of down in one of the versions anyway. Yeah, clever little cameo there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, this didn't need to be rated R. Honestly, I know I was kind of doing my research, and apparently it never was really confirmed to be rated R. It was just speculated and highly rumored to be rated R. So it was never, I guess, originally officially planned. I mean, maybe that's bullshit to not be rated R, and it didn't need to be. Honestly, it would have been gratuitous, I think, because it just would have been more just F-bombs or just blood for no reason. And he gets violent, I guess, but like it's not. You don't need to see limbs, ripped apart or anything like that. It was effective the way it was done, and I really enjoyed it.
I agree. You can still, when he goes and he bites somebody's head off screen, you can still tell that's what he did. They didn't need to show the gratuitous
I
violence.
I ended up giving it like a 7 out of 10. It reminded me of like Spawn, like fun, and that's a McFarlane, creation too. But like it reminded me of that like 90s kind of like this isn't quite my what I had in mind, but it's still entertaining. So
speaking of McFarlane, he said that the one thing that he wanted in the movie that he got was that Venom was a big hulking monster type of character instead of like Spider-Man 3 where he was kind of just a skinny version of Spider-Man. The whole reason he made Venom big was that so that Spider-Man had to get intellectual to beat him. Couldn't beat him physically because he was a monster. So that part he got right, and McFarlane said that he liked the movie because of that.
Nice.
Awesome.
A couple of numbers for the movie. It actually broke the October numbers for opening weekend. $80 million domestic, which actually beat out A Star Is Born, almost double. They brought in only $43 million. Yeah, so pretty big disparity in audience percentage versus critic percentage, but I think we're all closer toward the audience. I think I gave it about a 7 or 7.5. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I gave it about 7.5 too. Yeah. And on that note with A Star Is Born, I was mentioning earlier that supposedly a rumor was going around that all of Lady Gaga's like super fans were going around and purposely like trolling Venom and dropping negative reviews just to make sure that A Star Is Born came out on top of the box office this weekend, which is petty as shit.
Wow.
But I mean, like, it's an Oscar bait movie. It's gonna win its awards. You don't need your petty fucking, like, fucking millennial bullshit like trolling people with your online reviews. Fuck you, Yelp. And just fucking trying to sabotage a movie like that.
Is that the world we live in now?
It is the world.
I think so, bro.
It's just
Twitter
sad. It's just
stuff.
petty. Yeah. But like, Venom made its money. Like, who cares? Whatever. Like, our dumb popcorn movies are still gonna exist. We don't need your fucking shit. She's gonna win her awards. Fucking, She doesn't need it. She doesn't need your stupid help. You're not helping.
Well, how much are you really going to make an effect? Look at the numbers. Like,
exactly.
Get out of here. Like,
if anything, I think it gave the audience a better response because we're kind of, I feel, with so much negative press, a lot of people were going in with lowered expectations. And so you come out pleasantly surprised when, hey, this isn't the worst piece of shit ever.
Because of people coming out and saying, oh man, that was better than I thought.
Everybody that I've been talking to at work, they're like, yeah, it was actually pretty good, and I've been hearing all this bad crap about it. I'm like, yeah, me too. And it was not bad at all. It's a fun movie, man. It's a movie. Go watch it. There you go.
And that is our review on Venom. It's actually really decent. Go check it out if you get the chance. We're seeing it in the theaters, I think. Some cool effects.
I got to mention the score was actually really good on this too. Like it did a lot of like weird like bass resonance, like with a lot of like action sequences. So like punches were thrown or just whatever. And you get these action beats and it just has this big oomph, like beat to it. So I thought the score worked really well with the movie too. So just got a note on that too.
I wonder what's the 40 minutes it took out.
Yeah, it was rumored that Tom Hardy said they took out the 40 minutes that he liked.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I read more into that too. Tom Hardy actually followed up on that quote when he was saying that like I was kind of misquoted, saying that like it made it seem like the only scenes I liked were cut out. I was like, no, he's just saying that there's lots and lots of footage out there that wasn't used, but that's any movie, There's still a lot of things in the film that he likes. It's just so like, oh yeah, there's just so much of it. But I'm sure
we'll see on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, there's already talk about a director's cut, so I'm sure we're gonna get all that stuff.
So one final thing on Venom, the mid-cut scene.
Yes.
They introduced Woody Harrelson's character, Cletus Cassidy. Yes, as Carnage. They gave him a real quick couple of lines. I will say his wig was terrible.
It was horrible.
They should not give Woody Harrelson wigs. It looks weird. But can't wait. Great character. I hope Woody does him,
I think he's great.
Well, his last name is Harrelson.
Well,
I think he's gonna be great at it. But like that was one of those lines that was kind of like cringy, but it works because like it does.
There will be carnage.
Yeah, well, like but it zooms in on him and he just slowly says like, "When I get out of here, there's gonna be carnage." He says it in such a cheesy '90s way. And I was like, I see what you did there.
Right. Not
coming soon.
He needs to play it more Natural Born Killers and a little less. I don't know what that was, but Carrot Top.
Yeah, Carrot Top. Totally. All right, we'll give you more Carnage info when we get it. But all right, moving on for that. We got a huge list of biggest flops of all time in movie history. There is plenty on this list. I'll go down a few of them, and then we'll highlight a couple of them. Man, there's
give me the flops. Give me the flops, bro. I'm ready.
All right, first mention Marvel's first movie, if you will. One of the biggest flops, still like to this date, it just recalls like bad movies. Howard the Duck.
It just makes me laugh.
If you guys have probably haven't seen this, to be honest.
Yeah, millennials.
Come on, 86, man. It's
Was
as
it
old as
86?
me. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, Sam, talk a little bit about this one. I know you're kind of a fan.
I enjoyed it as a kid, dude. I mean, as a kid, seeing the movie, I was like, what the hell, a talking duck from a different dimension?
You're like,
trying to get back home? And it was like the same bad guy from Problem Child. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, wait.
I enjoyed it.
What's his name?
Also,
the principal
from
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller.
Really?
Yes.
He was always the bad guy. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm down.
You bought into it?
Yeah.
And what about the whole making out with the duck thing?
It's not weird. Hey, the 80s were a weird time.
It's only
bro.
weird if you make it weird.
Yeah, Adam, don't make it weird, all right?
All right.
She was just experimenting.
Hey, at least it was a puppet and not CG.
I guess that's less weird. I don't know.
I don't know. Kind of. So that was 1986. There's plenty of. I got.
I know
some
Gagne
new
loved it
stuff.
too, though. Gagne enjoyed it.
Did you like it, Gagne? Howard the Duck?
Oh yeah, it was one of my favorites as a kid. It just was. I had no idea it was a Marvel comic book, but when I was a kid, it was just this is talking, wisecracking duck, like making out with the chick from Back to the Future. Like this is amazing, and the principal from Ferris Bueller. Like it was all you needed. Like it was perfect.
High marks on that one, but it didn't make any money.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of Bruce Willis movies on this list, which I was surprised.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eddie. Cover your ears.
You remember this one, Hudson Hawk? It was kind of action, kind of comedy. Really bad movie.
Yeah.
Saw it.
I remember it came out and I was like, I don't know what this is. And when you're young and you're like, you can't figure it out, you're not going to go see it.
Yeah, and this was in the middle of the 90s where Bruce Willis was on top of the world. He was an action star, close to Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, and then this movie comes out and nobody's ever heard of it, and nobody ever went and saw it. Some other ones, just real quick. Adam's Family Values, the sequel. It only made about a third of what the first one did.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know shit as a kid because I was stupid. But like, I remember loving this movie when I was younger.
Right. I'm assuming it made more in like video sales.
Probably.
Cutthroat Island. It was a one-time Guinness World Record for biggest flop.
Is that with Gina Davis?
It was.
Yep.
It was
Oh,
almost,
God,
it
that was
actually
so bad.
was one of probably her last movies.
That's like the first time I rented on VHS, and I had to pull out the tape halfway through. I'm like,
You're like,
I can't
nope.
do this.
So this movie had a $98 million budget and it opened to only
What?
$2 million.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's
98
fucked up.
million.
Yep. Believe that?
That's
Um,
hilarious.
Another one that I actually kind of liked, but according to Rotten Tomatoes, 9%. Kevin Costner's The Postman.
Damn.
I can't bash it because I've never seen it, but I remember it being a big flop when I worked at the theater.
Right.
That's
This
how
was,
old I am.
Kevin Costner was in the 90s, had, hit after hit.
He was the shit.
And then, Waterworld came out, and then he followed that up with The Postman. Let me read a quote here by Vanity Fair. This says, audiences were in no mood to watch a movie which begins with Costner reciting Macbeth to his donkey before once again martyring himself for 3 hours. He did a lot of martyring in the 90s.
That's a glowing review.
Yeah. 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
Wow.
Another one I actually kind of liked, The 13th Warrior. Antonio Banderas. It was kind of based loosely off
wasn't
of
that bad,
Beowulf.
dude.
I kind of liked it too. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, but the problem with this movie is it had massive re-edits after test audiences rejected it. The original title was called Eaters of the Dead. Maybe it just didn't hit well. This movie was $160 million budget and only made $60 million, so $100 million loss.
Damn.
That'll get you fired.
Yep. Another one, Titan AE. If you remember,
I
this
like
was,
that one too.
It wasn't that bad, dude.
This was an animated one.
Why is everybody
Matt Damon?
bashing it?
Yeah, Matt Damon was kind of the lead
Matt
character.
Damon.
This was put out by Fox Animation. Another $100 million loss on this
Wow.
one. It actually
Wow.
closed down this studio.
That's.
Rest in peace, Fox Animation.
Yep. Another animated one, Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
You shut your mouth.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah,
At the
apparently
time,
the rest of the world didn't think so.
I actually went and saw this in the theaters. I'm a big Final Fantasy.
Because
I
the
did
rest of the
too.
world are a bunch of heathens.
This actually had really good 3D animation for the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this
2001.
one, again, $95 million loss and closed the studio.
Yeah.
We'll continue on with some animated ones. Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. This was actually one of DreamWorks' first movies. This lost $125 million
Shit.
and nearly closed DreamWorks.
Wow.
Yeah.
There would have been no
I
Shrek.
can't take these losses, bro. Just listening to it, it's like, damn.
A couple of ones we have. Stealth. If you remember, this was an action
What?
flick with
It wasn't
Jamie
that bad,
Foxx
dude.
and Jessica.
Who was saying was the
Biel and-
soundtrack?
Yeah, the soundtrack was
Incubus.
awesome, right?
That's
Yeah.
I
right.
don't Incubus in that
The
Oh, yeah,
problem with this
Incubus,
movie,
sorry.
it came out the same weekend as Wedding Crashers, Sky High, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh.
So with all that
Ooh.
competition, it came out to $111 million loss.
We had Wedding Crashers and Charlie and Chocolate Factory. I remember that weekend being insane.
Yes.
And we got Stealth.
Yeah, we had Stealth, I think, too.
Oh, we had Stealth
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
We did.
We had
yeah.
Stealth too.
Another one, Speed Racer by the Wachowskis. This was their follow-up to The Matrix. $120 million budget, only made $44 million.
You guys see that?
Yeah,
I
saw
did,
it.
I watched it.
I didn't see it.
It was okay.
It's,
it had its
it's-
moments.
You're better
little over the
watching it
top.
enhanced.
Totally.
It's a headache. It can give you a seizure. Let's just say that. I mean,
it's very colorful.
I was a huge fan of the anime when I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time with my dad. I love that show. And then I was like really excited seeing this, and then like,
Kind of a letdown.
what is this?
Yeah.
This is
The only
an
reason I
acid
watched
trip.
this movie was because of Christina Ricci.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she's in there. John Goodman was Pops too, which I actually kind of like that actually.
Moving on, we have John Carter, which is probably right now the biggest flop of all time. Probably.
Whoa. So it's Battleship.
Battleship
You
came
put 'em
out
together.
the same year, right? You were
Put them
telling us.
together.
The
Okay.
Curse of Taylor Curse of Kirsch.
Kitsch.
Gambit,
Anyway.
Wolverine origins.
We don't talk about that.
So John Carter, it was Disney took a $200 million loss on this film. It went way over budget, $300 million on this budget.
So you're telling me Shia LaBeouf couldn't help him in this movie?
Shia
He was
LaBeouf,
in there?
he this
Yes, he
What?
was the sidekick.
So I guess in this one, I blame it on the marketing. John Carter, like when you think of that title, what do you think of? Fucking a basketball movie with Sam Jackson. Or, you're not thinking sci-fi action flick.
Because
So,
they add of Mars at the end, it doesn't help. Like,
well, what happened was Disney thought because of other movies that had failed around the time that had Mars in the title, they were going to just take that part off.
How many movies came out with the name Mars in it?
Well, there was one that was on this list. It was called Moms from Mars or something like that.
oh
And
yeah,
that
they had to go save Mom
yeah,
and
yeah,
Mars.
super
Yeah.
flopped, and because
Wow.
of that specifically,
That was
had
actually a
Mars in
movie
it.
by what's his name? Back to the Future director.
Robert Zemeckis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Zemeckis movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So $200 million. That's a crazy amount of money to lose on one.
We
movie,
should
so
write to the studios to tell them give us this type of money, and we'll write them a great script. We'll give them a great
We'll
script.
give you something, right? So moving, we had 47 Ronin, which I actually like too.
It wasn't that bad,
It's a
bro.
Keanu
It was
Reeves
good.
movie.
Good samurai movie.
Yeah, it was
Seriously.
decent. I think what really hit this one was Keanu Reeves wasn't Japanese, and this was about a Japanese warrior. So maybe just it was
Last
the time
Samurai.
frame, So
Fun fact. People were mad about 47 Ronin, but the following year, John Wick came out, so people weren't mad anymore.
Oh, totally. Thank God that John Wick came around.
Yeah.
He saved Keanu from that flop. Last but not least, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Couldn't save this movie with this awesome backstory. It opened only
This one deserved it.
to $15 million. Yeah. $150 million budget, only made $15 million.
The Guy Ritchie one, right?
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. I
It-
didn't see this
yeah.
one.
It was,
I
it was
kinda-
okay. It was okay.
It's unwatchable.
unwatchable.
It's bad. And you're talking to a guy who loves everything Guy Ritchie does. And I just was like, this sucks. And I love Arthur and I love Guy Ritchie, and this just sucked.
Well, just to let you know, something I saw in the future trailer that looks familiar to this movie was that new Robin movie coming out.
Oh, Robin Hood.
Totally.
It looks
for sure.
exactly
That
the
one looks
same.
That looks like
garbage.
shit,
It
yeah.
looks exactly the same, like shot per shot.
I was so excited for that movie when I thought that Jamie Foxx was going to be Robin Hood, and then nope.
He's Little John.
Yeah,
He's Little John.
What?
So
What? We're going to get one of them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So plenty of others on that list. Wow, there's been some big flops. If you lose $100 million on a movie, and that causes your studio to
Is
fail.
Attack from Mars on there?
Wait, Mars Attacks?
Yeah, Mars.
Mars Attacks? I didn't see it.
It's not on this
Okay,
list.
cool.
I would assume that one
Because that was a really fun movie. I was just kind of scared. I was kinda
Yeah, I hated
scared.
that movie when I was a kid just because, this is like a bunch of actors that I liked. It was such an all-star cast, and everybody fucking died in that movie. And I was
It
like,
was so silly.
what is this? And I was a kid, so I didn't know any better. I just wanted
Okay,
everybody
okay,
to
okay.
live. So I was like, what is this weird-ass movie? They're
I
killing
love,
all
the
my favorite
I
people.
love the fact that the dude boxed a fucking Martian, like straight up just started punching him in the face. I was
Jim
like,
Brown. That was amazing. Yeah.
That's pretty fantastic. That was a crazy little cult classic.
with Jack Black. Oh my god, that's the first time I was introduced to Jack Black.
That's right.
Was
Oh yeah,
was that movie?
There's a lot of people in that movie.
it was. He was in there. Fucking Pierce Brosnan was in there, Jack Nicholson, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox. All those people died. So it's just like Tom Jones. Let's not forget the greatest cameo ever. No, not really.
All right, fellas. That's all I got. What do we got to close the show with?
Thank you for listening again. I hope you guys watch the horror movies that we're watching. Give us your feedback on
Next week,
Instagram.
The Exorcist.
Yep.
Somebody
Instagram,
tell me
Facebook,
why I'm wrong
Twitter.
on Shining.
You didn't grow up with it the way we did. It didn't traumatize you.
That's
as a
true.
child.
That's probably why.
That could be.
There's a big, you know.
Yeah, that still creeps me out, dude. Honestly, that red room thing still creeps me out. Honestly,
It really creeped me out because the fact that he just used his little finger, just changed his voice, like, "Thank you, Mrs. Flores."
his voice is actually creepy, dude. Like, this kid is fucked up. Look at him out of the house. Like, just put the demon seat outside.
Give him an Xbox or
I don't know what
Nintendo.
is it with creepy kids, man? Like Children of the Corn and
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Dude, those twins. I'm telling you, like they're just standing there, but like, no, just that's creepy, dude. Just stop staring at me. Come play with us.
Actually, one of the movies that still horrified me when I was a kid was Jaws. I know it's silly to say, but thanks to Jaws, I don't know how to swim.
I can't blame you
I
there.
wouldn't hop in any pools, any sort of body of water. I'm like, there's a fucking shark in there, and my family would always yell at me. I'm like, you don't know that.
Prove it.
Yeah, exactly. We were at the YMCA, and they're like, there's no shark in here. I'm like, you don't know that. We're in Florida.
Right.
Okay, we're known for sharks.
Next
Stop
on
it.
our Halloween list, Jaws.
Right? Totally.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Catch us on iTunes and Podbean and all the podcasting apps. We'll catch you next week. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, folks.
Bye bye.